If it were only myself, if I'm the president, I will give Igbos the right to go and have their Biafra. And anybody from Delta or anywhere who want to join them to have their Biafra. After all, Lesotho is in the center of South Africa. So that they will have their Biafra. We don't need them. We don't need Igbo. We don't need them. Let them go. Mr. President, let all the other nationalities, let us meet. If Igbo said they want to go, let us allow them to go. It's not just in Nnamdi. Let us meet. Let us convoke a conference. I will stand. We will remain. Let us allow them to go. Within the identified borders. As long as they will never come and irritate us any longer. They will stay in their Biafra. And from today, I want to start the movement. Let the Igbos go. That is my new movement now. Let the Igbos go. Let them go. We will see who will blink first. The President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, I am begging you in the name of God, please and please, all the political stakeholders in the North, everybody, how long will we continue to have this irritation among us? How long will we continue to have this irritation amongst us? Please let us allow this Igbo.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election and its aftermath. And I can tell you for free, that video you watch is an indication of the division in the country, which has also been exacerbated by the kind of conduct, utterances that come out from the mouth of our politicians before, during, and after the presidential election. Asari Dokubo is one of the people that have the ears of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Only a few weeks ago, the gate of Asari was thrown open for him, where he came and spoke about so many things, including about the detention of the IPOP, the indigenous Biafra leader, the IPOP leader, Nnamdi Kanu. So he is somebody who has the ears of the president. You can say it with certainty that Asari Dokubo has the ears of the presidency. And it's not just that he has the ears of the presidency, it's like he also had the ears of former President Buhari, because if what he claimed when he came to the villa, that he was recruited and his men to go and fight bandits, and he claimed it was his men that restored safety along Abuja-Kaduna Road. Even in Abuja, he claimed that it was his boys that was able to make Nigerians to have peace in Abuja and along Abuja-Kaduna Road and all that. It means he is almost like a state agent. Okay? That's what it means. Because since he made that claim has not been refuted by those who functioned under Buhari administration, or refuted by the present Tinubu administration. So it means that Asari Dokubo has the ears of the government of the Buhari, and he also has the ears of this present administration that is in charge until the Supreme Court says otherwise. But there are some things he said here which is noteworthy, And this thing he said, many people will be surprised. It is not a new thing. It's not as if it has never happened anywhere in the world where a part of a federation will be literally told to go away. Because what he was saying, that if you hear the tone of his voice, he said Tinubu should allow them to go. The Nigerian leaders should gather and say, these people, you should go. Now, that is exactly what happened to Singapore. Okay? That was how Singapore was expelled from Malaysia. And it is important. I'm doing this video because I want to educate us. Because many times we Nigerians, we operate in ignorance. Okay? And on August 9, 1965, the Parliament of Malaysia voted 126 to 0, with all Singaporean MPs boycotting the vote in favor of the expulsion, because if you listen to the tone of Asari, he was talking about expulsion of Singapore from Malaysia. On that day, Etiafo Lim Kwa Yu announced a televised press conference that Singapore was a sovereign, independent nation. Now, Singapore and Malaysia, they were one country. They were one country, a federation. But things were not working well. And the Malaysia decided that, look, we have to allow these people to go. Now, the separation was the result of deep political and economic differences between the ruling parties of Singapore and Malaysia, which created communal crisis that resulted in racial riots in July and September 1964. Okay? Now, these people were sharing one country, but there was always tension between the Muslims and Christians, the Malays, the Hindus, and what have you. The Malaysians were more in population. They want to have it all. The Singaporeans were not Muslims. Very few are. The majority of them were. You have Christians, you have Hindus, you have Chinese, and all kinds of people. So the union was not working. Of course, they could have made it to work. After all, India, despite separation from Pakistan, was able to make India work. Pakistan separated from India in 1948 because he wanted an Islamic country. Yet, despite the separation, India's population today is about 1.3 billion, and there are still substantial numbers of Muslims who couldn't migrate with their kids and kin to move to Pakistan, because that time there was a great movement. The Muslims said that they cannot be in the same country with the Hindus and all those other people dominating. So they created their own. They wanted a different country. The British agreed with them and all kinds of things. But I know that Gandhi never wanted it. He never wanted a divided India, but it happened. But despite many millions that moved to Pakistan, okay, many still remain and form part of this present India we have. So there are millions of people today who are Muslims. Yet, so India was able to still create a multi-ethnic and multi-religious society. So Malaysia could have done the same, allowing Singapore and all of them being together. But they think they couldn't take it anymore. As a result of the riots, racial riots that broke out in July and September 1964. So by the second half of 1968, the stormy political climate in Malaysia showed no sign of easing. The Tunku Abdul Rahman, who had become the Malaysian Prime Minister, was pressed to intervene to avoid a repeat of the communal clashes that claimed many lives in 1964. During the London trip to attend the Commonwealth Prime Ministers Conference in June 1965, the Tunku decided that severing Singapore from the Federation was the only cause and communicated this to his deputy, Tun Abdul Razak, who was instructed to sound out the senior ministers and lay the groundwork for separation. By the time the Tunk returns to Kuala Lumpur on 5th August, Singapore's days in the Federation was numbered. So you can go and read details of this in Lim Kuan Yew's book, From Third World to First World, The Singapore Story, 1965 to 2000. So what Asari Dokubo seems to be asking Tinubu to do, he wants him to present the Southeast case, the Biafra case, in a similar fashion. Of course, he didn't mention Singapore. Perhaps he's not even aware that something like that exists. Perhaps he is aware. Because that was how Singapore was literally expelled. You can see that Lim Kuan Yew, if you read his work, he was in tears because many Singaporeans were taken by surprise when they were told that they have to leave the country, go and form their own country. Okay, it was as if they were being punished. They were being punished because the Malaysians were also feeling that the Malays, with their numbers and everything, they feel they have an advantage. Just like Asari Dokubo now, in his analysis, in his mindset, he feels that Igbos are just 5 states of the Southeast, or perhaps those who are in Delta, who, according to who want to be part of it. So he is thinking that is it. Supposing it is like that, okay? Supposing it's like that, and so this kind of, he say, okay, they should go. His mindset is that let us see how they will survive. They will come and beg us to stay back. That's I can tell you for free. That's my reading of his statement. I will see how they will survive. Okay. But that was exactly the kind of mentality that a lot of people in Malaysia had when they say that they can no longer tolerate the Singaporeans to share the same country with them. Okay. So the ball is in the court of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Since Asari has his ears, he throws the presidency, invites him to the presidency. He addressed press conferences after and all that. They do photo ops and all that. If the president wants to listen to him, all he has to do is to send it as an executive bill to the National Assembly, just the same way the Malaysian Prime Minister at that time did. And the Parliament passed a law. And the Parliament voted peacefully. 126 votes to 0 in support of that Singapore should go. If Tinubu, however, believe that Nigeria needs to be united, Nigeria needs to rally around and be one country, one united, indivisible nation, okay, he may ignore it and then work to ensure a stable Nigeria. A Nigeria in which people cannot come to social media and say people from certain part of the country will never be president. It has to be done in such a way that a law will be made to make it compulsory that presidency must rotate among the 6 geopolitical zones. Or something of that nature. Something must be done. Because in this era of social media, there is a lot of toxicity, toxicity that exists in the country right now, created largely by social media and being translated on the streets by people like Asari Dokubo. Because why I'm telling you this, when I went to look at the commentary under where Asari Dokubo made this video, I saw a lot of Nigerians agreeing with Asari Dokubo that Tinubu should follow, should in fact do what Asari was talking about. So it means that there are a lot of people that agree with him on that. But the ball is now left on the court of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If it is under him that Nigeria, a part of Nigeria will separate, like Singapore separated from Malaysia. He can do it. And he can follow the due process of law, like it was done in Malaysia in 1965. Or he may decide that the best thing is a more united Nigeria, a Nigeria that is run by fairness, justice, and equity, in a Nigeria where no section of the country is left behind, in a Nigeria where no religion is more superior than the other, in a religion where no ethnic division, any ethnic group is more superior than the other, in a Nigeria where no geopolitical zone is superior than the other. He may ignore him and work for that one and ensure that such a Nigeria emerges if the Supreme Court allow him to remain. Because, as I said, when I check the toxicity that is under the kind of comment I saw under Asari Dokubo's statement, I found out that whoever is Nigeria's will remain Nigeria's president when the Supreme Court finally rules on 2023 presidential election. The person has his work cut out for him, because this country is more divided, has never been as divided as it is right now. And that division was created by politicians, and it started from 2015. The kind of campaign that the APC ran and the kind of administration that Buhari ran, that is what cemented the gulf, the division in the country, religious, ethnic, and what have you. And the comments of Asari Dokubo, his video, is another indication of that. Okay? So the ball is in the court of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who listens to people like Asari Dokubo, whether he will agree with him or not. But at least I did this video so that people will know that what he's saying is not outlandish. It has been done before. It was done in Malaysia, when Malaysia allowed Singapore to go away. It was, to many Singaporeans, it took many of them by surprise. All of a sudden, they were told, you can't be part of our second again. But I know that in the case of Nigeria, once you allow a part, Southeast, to go, I can tell you there will be an avalanche of those who also want to go, despite the rantings by Asari Dokubo. Many other people may decide, look, we can also go. That's the truth. Because of the level of injustice in Nigeria right now, which is caused by mainly our leaders and not by our laws. So that's the way I look at it. But at least I'm adding this video for knowledge sake, so that people will not see what Asari said and think it's so outlandish. He has reinvented the wheel. He didn't reinvent the wheel. It had been done before. It had been done before. Except for the riots of 64. I don't think they fired any gunshots before Singapore separated from any other. I don't think they fired any other shots before Singapore separated from Malaysia in 1965. Okay? Now, you can see now that despite the fears that Singapore will not survive, because at that time, Malaysia thought it has an advantage, just as Asari Dokubo is claiming today that he believes he has an advantage because he believes he has more oil He described oil from Southeast as a cup of oil. They should cut off their cup of oil and stuff. Now, today, Singapore is ahead of Malaysia. Now, a question was asked recently. Somebody asked, a question was asked recently, why is Singapore more successful than Malaysia? And this is the response that was given to that question. They said that the efficiency of Singapore, the Singapore border process, coupled with the quality of transport services and the country's overall socio-political environment has boosted the Singapore rank as top one. That is the ranking of Singapore as number one by World Economic Forum Enabling Trade Report, while Malaysia was ranked at 37. Today, Singapore economy is one of the most stable in the world, with no foreign debts, high government revenue, and a consistently positive surplus. The Singapore economy is mainly driven by export in electronic manufacturing and machinery, financial services, tourism, and the world's busiest cargo seaport. The Singapore that was expelled from Malaysia is having the last laugh. Be careful what you ask for. You may get it. Thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.